John Jackson, and we're going to get to Rodney Peete in 1 second here. But first, Game On making move today to the Lorenzo, the most talked about apartment community at the University of Southern California. Upscale student living is waiting for you. Hurry, spaces are going fast. Do not miss out. Immediate occupancy. Visit thelorenzo.com or call 213-863-4307. It's time to welcome in the 1988 All-American Rodney Peete. And the easy question first, Rodney, is who made who look good, you or JJ?
JJ always made me look good. Are you kidding me?
Then why do you got all the trophies?
JJ was the king of me throwing the short passes and then taking it to the house.
Hey, what's up, Rodney? With this USC team, give me your overall impressions of the team. First of all, let's start with the overall with the season first.
Well, I think overall, JJ, you look back at this season and you, at least I do, look at opportunities lost. I really do. Now, granted, I know the depth situation and it's been talked about throughout the whole season, but I look at games that, especially the games that I've witnessed firsthand. It was at Boston College, and I felt that game was in hand all the way, and then we let it get away from us in the fourth quarter. I look at, the Utah, the Hail Mary at Arizona State. I mean, there were games that to be had. We haven't really basically got beaten up or lost a game other than last week against UCLA. So I see there is a tremendous amount of talent on this football team, a team that can get it done, but we haven't found a way to finish. And that's been the recurring theme, I think, all season long.
And I'm wondering if you want to stay with that, the quarterback, obviously, your position, and you look at who's holding that mantle now, and Cody Kessler. Statistically, he's had a great season, not coming off his best game. What have you seen from Cody?
I really like Cody. I like his demeanor. I like his attitude. I like his ability to not only throw the football with great mechanics, but also his ability to move around inside and outside the pocket. I really like him. I think last week against UCLA, I think the pressure up the middle really disrupted his timing and his focus. And I'm speaking as a former quarterback. You can handle the pressure when it's coming from the outside, and which it usually does from premier outside rushers. But when the pressure starts coming from up the middle and you can't step up or step into your throws, it becomes really, really disruptive. And I think that really got to him, not only physically, but I think it got to him mentally, where he started really anticipating the rush getting to him and wasn't allowed to kind of just be comfortable in the pocket and go down the field and make his reads.
Rodney, every time you talk about quarterbacks, you always hear that they always have to have that it factor for big games. And, all the great quarterbacks have it. Obviously, you made your legacy here at USC competing and winning those big games. What is it, that it factor that, maybe it's a mental thing that, that you can utilize to get you to play your best in big moments?
Well, I think the biggest thing is because it is a big game, JJ, you can't jump outside of yourself and what you've always done. I think you got to play within yourself, number one. But when those opportunities are there to make that play, that special play or that big play, that 3rd and 8 in the fourth quarter, or make that touchdown throw, you have to make that play. You have to see yourself making that play. And I think the good ones visualize themselves in those big moments. I mean, I'm sure you have growing up, and I know I have, but you visualize yourself in those big moments. You don't visualize yourself, throwing a touchdown pass, no offense, against Oregon State in the fourth quarter. You visualize yourself against UCLA or Notre Dame or in the Rose Bowl. And that's the big challenge, and that's what you have to do. But it's playing within yourself, number one, but and not trying to do too much. But when those plays are there to be made, you're so ready to make it.
Rod, we tried to have you on during UCLA week because you're a legendary Bruin beater. Notre Dame proved
they took a lick at me now. You had to bring that up.
Yeah, the Irish made things a little tricky for you and JJ.
I'm in the same boat.
Yes, they did.
What characterize this rivalry? The effect it had on your career, but just in general, what USC Notre Dame means to you.
Well, first of all, it still hurts me today that I didn't have a chance to beat Notre Dame. It still bothers me to my core today because the fact that I would get an opportunity to play Notre Dame every year was one of the reasons I went to USC, because I didn't like Notre Dame, number one, but I always rooted for USC growing up. So that was number one, and then not to beat them was still, like I said, it sticks in my stomach. But it's such a big game. And, you know, the cross-country rivalry where you've got the folks from the Midwest and Notre Dame's such a traditional school, and SC it's such a big deal when you talk about all the players that played in the game and all the historic games going back and forth and the streaks that have happened over the years. It's so exciting and it's so fun to be a part of. And I think that people, whether you win or lose, you always remember the experiences that you had against UCLA and Notre Dame.
You know, I mean, one more thing that has sort of changed since our generation is all these spread offenses. You know, a lot of short passes, passing behind the line of scrimmage, running quarterbacks. I know it's a different generation, but did you miss the boat? I mean, is this the style of offense that you should have been in? That, you know, to really, I mean, you know, you had a great career. There's nothing against that, but I mean, to you know, in terms of even at the NFL level, would this style have changed even your career to elevate you to one of the best and maybe play all-time in the NFL?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I look at it now, I was like, man, it would have been a lot of fun to play in that type of offense. I mean, I think back to JJ, and not only in college, but even in the NFL, you know, you go 17 for 22 for 280 yards, that was a pretty good day.
Right.
You know, you do that today, it's, you know, you had a bad outing.
That's a quarter.
And so that's, you know, that's transferred into not only college and pros. But yeah, you see quarterbacks that didn't start off that way still, you know, running those type of spread. Peyton Manning's running that type of offense. He doesn't run much, but he's still, you know, he's running the spread offense. So yeah, it's changed. And do I look at it and go, yeah, God, that would have been really cool to play in? Yes, absolutely, 100%. But it is what it is. It's different times. The game's going to evolve, and the game's going to change. And you know, it's a copycat type of league and type of system. So. It'll work for a period of time until the defense catches up with it.
Well, that's the voice of one of the greats, Rodney Peete. We thank you for joining us on Notre Dame Week. And when we get back, JJ's going to break down that big Notre Dame game. You are listening to Trojans Live on the Beast.